everyone, it's Dara again. Thank you so much for joining me today. So this video is part 2 to interview as an ESL teacher. Now, as you can see behind me, this is my little whiteboard. I'm going to show you an example of how to do a demo lesson. But allow me to put this disclaimer out that I'm not working in an office, nor am I working in a classroom, so forgive my background. If this was a real demo lesson, you would probably be in an office or in a classroom with students. But for the purpose of this video, I am going to show you how to conduct the demo lesson and what you should do after the demo lesson. So without further ado, let's get started. It is very important that when you're doing a demo lesson that you speak clearly and you give clear instructions. So as you see, what I'm doing now is I'm actually explaining to the students what topic we're going to discuss, which is the present perfect tense. I've written a warm-up question that is referring to the present perfect tense, as well as an example of how to answer that question. You always want to make sure that you point, or you can use a pointer if you feel more comfortable, to direct your students or to give instruction. For example, as you see here, I am asking students to repeat after me, and I'm saying one more time. I'm using body language, and I'm actually pointing to the question and having them repeat after me. This is very effective because a lot of times students are shy and they may not clearly understand what it is that you're trying to say. So body language is extremely important when you are giving instruction to your students. The other thing you also want to do is you always want to encourage them by thanking them for following your instruction, as well as encouraging them maybe by giving a thumbs up or at least saying thank you or good job. Another tip that you want to do is you want to make sure that you write clearly. This is one of the things that I've personally made this mistake when I've done demo lessons or just teaching in my ESL classes. You always want to write big enough letters so students can clearly read what you're saying. You also want to make sure that you use different color markers. Now, again, this is optional, but when you use different color markers, it not only makes it more intriguing to the students when they are reading what you're writing on the whiteboard, but it also is a great way to really indicate something specific that you want them to pay attention to. For grammar lessons, this is critical because a lot of times just explaining it without actually showing differences between maybe the different verbs or verb usages, sentence structure, etc., it can be very challenging for students. So it's good to use different colors to better explain what it is that you're talking about. Present perfect tense. Let's say again, present perfect tense. Let's look at the warm-up. Please repeat. How long have you lived in the United States? One more time. How long have you lived in the United States? Now let's look at our answer. I have lived in the United States for 5 years. One more time, please repeat. I have lived in the United States for 5 years. Now let's look at how this breaks up. We want to make sure that we break up the questions so it makes it more clearer to the students. For example, how long means time. Have is a verb. You is the subject. Who are we talking about? Been is called past participle, which is a verb, but it's considered special when we're using the present perfect tense. Been, lived. One of the things you want to be careful with past participles is that a lot of times some verbs will use the ed form and some verbs do not. In means preposition of place, and the United States is a noun. It is an exact place. So after you finish doing the warm-up and some examples, you want to really now pay more attention to the actual verbs that you're using. So what you see me do here is I'm actually writing the verbs that were used in our warm-up question as well as the answer. Now, if you notice, I am using different color markers. This is again effective, especially when you are practicing grammar. A lot of times students have a very difficult time trying to decipher what verb they should use for what tense. So you want to kind of break it up. So again, what I'm decided to do is I'm giving you the present tense, the simple past tense as well as the past participle. I am highlighting the ed for the word lived because some verbs in the past tense will be the same as the past participle of the present perfect tense. Now, have or has. Now, we use the verb have or has when we are creating a sentence in present perfect. We use have for the subjects I, we, you, and they. And we also use has for he, she, it, which is third person singular. So I, we, you, they is for have. He, she, it is for has, third person singular. So I hope this lesson has helped you in preparing for your next demo lesson. And again, every demo lesson will be different. So for me, I chose grammar. For you, it might be something else. Always keep in mind that when you're doing a demo lesson, you always want to give eye contact to the employer. If you are in a classroom with students, you want to give eye contact with the students. You want to take your time and speak slowly. You want to use your hand as a pointer, or you can use your marker, for example. You want to make sure you have a whiteboard. Use different colors of your markers. Use different colors. And the reason why is because when you use different colors explaining or making certain points, it really helps the students to really see what you are talking about. So don't be afraid to use some colors. The other thing you want to do is make sure that you take a deep breath. One of the mistakes as native speakers is we talk so fast that we forget that this still is an English class. So take your time, have a smile on your face, give good eye contact, use different color markers if available. If not, do not worry about it. Speak clearly and speak slowly. And when you're finished with the demo, always ask the employer any questions you might have not asked in the interview itself. So if there's something you're not sure of, this is the best time to ask the employer those questions and thank the employer. Whether or not you get the job is totally up to the employer, but you will feel good knowing that you gave it your best shot. So don't be afraid to try your best, and remember, this is just one position. There are many others out there. Keep trying, keep striving, and I wish you the best of luck in your interview. I wish you the best of luck in your demo lesson and in any future endeavors that you may have. Thank you so much again, and I will see you next time.